Welcome to this week's video. One question I get quite a bit from entrepreneurs is, how do I determine when I can or shouldn't add salary to my business? And in this video, I'm going to answer that question of when you can and give you a good idea of exactly how you should be looking at how much salary should I be spending and how many employees should I have. So let's get into it. In the NFL, there is something called the salary cap, and each NFL team has to keep their salaries within a certain dollar amount. And the idea is to basically level the playing field amongst the various teams. And so they have a dollar amount that they have to stick to, and that's how they spend the money on the salaries. So in your business, you should calculate what your salary cap is and manage your business to what that number is. So, how do you do that? Well, first I want to talk about pre-tax profit. And pre-tax profit, what that is that's profit before taxes. And the reason why I say that is because at first you got to start with the end in mind. And in this case, it would be the pre-tax profit. Where should that percentage be? And that profit is basically calculated on a percentage, which is your pre-tax profit, which is profit before taxes divided by your revenues. And that gives you the percentage. So you should strive for that percentage to be 10% and above. And really 15%. If you go above 15%, then that's great, but you should start thinking about distributions in the business. But at any rate, you want to be at 10%. When it starts to go below 10%, you want to start looking at other things in your business to get that pre-tax profit to that 10% mark. If it's below 5%, then you're in the danger zone, and we really need to kind of take a look at some drastic things to get your business to above that 5% at a minimum. So based on that, let's take an example. Let's say your sales are a million. So based on that 10% pre-tax profit, you want to be at, right, $100,000. And then what you want to start doing is looking at and the other costs that are in your business. So we'll first start with variable costs. Variable costs are the costs basically that you incur to get your product out the door. They're going to be things such as materials, supplies, it could be parts if you're selling a product, and things like that to basically to get your product out the door. And so you would budget that number. And a good way to look at it is you could look at historically what that's actually cost you and come up with what that is as a percentage of sales. Then you want to look at your operating expenses. And these are really your fixed costs. They're going to be things like rent, insurance, telephone expenses. Expenses that don't really they stay steady. They do change over a long period of time, but in the short period of time, they're going to stay relatively the same. And again, you could look at the last 12 months and kind of get an idea of what that would be as a percentage of sales. Then you calculate that number. And then, you guessed it, you figure out what the amount is that you could spend on salaries. In other words, your salary cap. And one of the key things, though, to think about in your salaries is that salary number should include your wages. I see this as a mistake quite often, that owners don't include themselves in that wage, or they include themselves, but they're not paying what a market rate would be for what they're doing. And that, frankly, is a mistake. You're basically lying to yourself, and your numbers are not accurate in giving you the best picture of your business. Now, you may say, well, I can't pay my salary. And I get it. The goal is you got to figure out how to get to that. And once you determine that you need to get to that, then that will help you. But if you don't have that right number in there, then you're not going to be able to ever fix the problem. So you could, and you should, record what your salary would be and put that aside to pay that later. But, and a big but, you really need to pay and figure out how you get paid first before the employees do. So you calculate that number and you manage your wages to that. But what if your pre-tax profit is less than 10%? Well, as you've probably figured out, you got to get it to 10%. So you got to constantly review. So you start with reviewing the jobs that are being performed. Are there too many hats? Are there positions that could be split into two and be more efficient? You review the efficiency of the processes in your business. Maybe there's some improvement there. You review costs and your sales, including your pricing. But and you get the idea. You want this exercise will allow you to take a look at your business and see, okay, where is it that I can improve because I need to get my pre-tax profit to the 10%. Am I exceeding my salary cap? Okay, well, let's look in that area. If not, there's other areas that you can look at. So in summary, again, get your pre-tax profit to 10 to 15%. Constantly review productivity to make sure that you're getting to that pre-tax profit. And it's okay to start investing in more salary if your pre-tax profit is above 10%, in that 10 to 15% range. It can go back down if you're at 15 to 10% if you're investing and growing your business, but then get it back up to that 15. And then if you're in that danger zone, you got to make some drastic changes in getting that pre-tax profit up. And ultimately, you must have good numbers. If you don't have good numbers, then the numbers are just lying to you. And if you need help with that, I'd be glad to help you. Okay? Hey, if you like this video, it would be awesome if you hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.